Hello folks, Brew here. In the next few days we're gonna bring you a bunch of modern playtest matches with different matchups, really different matchups I should say. It's all has been done and will continue in the wake of our team's preparation for Grand Prix Copenhagen, so yeah, we have been really running a bunch of decks through our available gauntlet. We can't really test on mine, so yeah, I've been playing a bunch of weird decks. Here you just see me sideboarding with Storm out because we're preparing for a next match, and yeah, my friend on the left was just playing Jeskai Skies, basically kind of counter burst type of deck. It's his own brew. You probably have seen it in another recording previously. But yeah, so we're siding things out in here, preparing for the next matchup, and that will be Eldrazi Tron up against this blue-red Baral Gift Storm. And yeah, it's kind of a stellar slash pillar matchup because both decks have been pretty popular online. And I would say this matchup is kind of a negative one for Storm. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna actually play a couple of games post sideboard. So now you see our sideboards basically. Mine featured Shadow Storm, second and third Empty the Warrens, Repeal and Echoing Truth, more of those in the sideboard. So running the test version of the site configuration, which had double repeal and double truth. Yep, obviously Blood Moon in. My Eldrazi Tron list is not really well tuned. Well, now more or less, but during that playtest session, not so much. But yeah, there are like a few kind of obvious cards. You definitely want at least one bomb for the tokens and for the Baral and Electromancer. You want relics and cage. You want this build didn't run surgical extraction actually, just in favor of like some other boom booms. And yeah, you can see Wormcall here because I was actually gunning for in-store games at an FNM, so I wanted to gun against Burn. And yeah, there is a Crucible, there's a Needle, there's an Ulamog. So there are the typical test build because a bunch of one-offs and so on were cut. So Chalice definitely shines in this matchup. I could see him taking out all of the life gain out, so basically anything that's his life gain. Then Mindstone is actually quite okay because it allows you without the Tron to cast Chalice in turn 2, so no matter what he does here, I think it's probably something that he should be keeping in. But the point is that in my current build that I just saw like one nice list in Salvation form. That one doesn't actually run Mind Stones at all. But yeah, Contortion is actually pretty good here, but current list doesn't run them. Dismembers are good here, of course, for obvious reasons. So basically, yeah, in this matchup, Tron just takes out all the cute cards, and you just bring in all the relevant stuff. You can probably side out some ballistas and reshapers, I think, because they just don't do enough. They're kind of like slow. They're mainly for actual like creature matchups. So yeah, you can afford to side in a bunch of things. Um, yeah, uh, Cage kind of serves as another relic here. It doesn't cycle, but unlike relic that should be popped at some point, Cage can just sit in there and annoy the opponent. Because there'd be some bounce and Shatter Storm, and um, because of all the flexible bounce spells and things like that, I didn't have like a Shattering Spree in the sideboard of Storm, but I think there should be one, because then you can gifts for Storm and Shattering Spree and Shatter Storm, and then for a couple of bounce spells or whatever you need. So yeah, it gives you more flexibility with the gifts and so on. So yeah, it should be here because, well, it trumps Chalice and allows you to get rid of all kinds of nasty things that you face. Say Remand is not great here. Here I ran the test build with 4 remands. There's a argument for bringing in. So yeah, I'm bringing in the empty, and I'm thinking whether I can afford to actually take out one of the grape shots, because he's likely gonna, um, you know, keep the hands with Relic, Cage. Well, in the vacuum, the builds will also have Surgical as well, so Fast and Grape Shot are not amazing, but I don't know. There's a argument for even, taking out one Past in Flames as well. So, and because of all those ideas, maybe there's a argument for the Eldrazi deck to actually side in not just one but 2 Wretched Bombs, because actually I expect Storm players to move more towards the empty plan. Of course there's always dust, occasional Ugin, you know, that sort of thing. But I kind of expect the Eldrazi deck to actually take out the singleton or 2 copies of All's Dust. Okay, my friend is mulliganing here down to 6, while I'm explaining to you the strategy for this matchup. So I expect them to take out Karn, take out All's Dust, probably not bring any Ugians or that sort of thing, take out any Ulamogs for that matter. But yeah, because you're taking all that heavy stuff out just because the speed of the matchup is really fast, and you don't want to rely on actually hitting Tron, plus the maps are gonna be, kind of clunky because of Chalice, because even though Chalice on 1 is not the best in this match, but it's still a thing, you know. Um, it slows down the cantrips and stuff like that, but what you want is actually Chalice into in this matchup. Yeah, so this is why I guess a map plays an important role for the starting hands you want to keep and want to get with the Eldrazi's, because you want to, be able to ramp up for Tron and get the Tron going so you can actually cast the Chalice for 2. But yeah, don't get me wrong, if you don't draw the map really quickly, I think it's safe to go for Chalice in 1. Because that does still matter, because then you have awkward maps that you can draw after this, but so be it, it's not like that bad. Actually, I could see an argument for trying out whether keeping Basilisk Collar is worth it, because, well, you might get out of any potential rage of them grape shotting you out. Okay, here he just played a turn 2 Mindstone, so that's could set up a turn 3 Chalice on 2, and that would just be ridiculous. It's been a few days since we tested that, so I don't remember how broken these games were and how ridiculous they were. So we shall see. Sorry for not pulling out proper life total pad. My phone ran out, and yeah, we just needed to make sure that we would actually be aware of the life totals of each other. But yeah, this matchup is um, a matchup where life totals turn by turn don't matter a whole lot, because yeah, he would either really go into beatdown mode or not. Yeah, my turn 3 was second Electromancer into repeal. I'm not sure that if that was correct. I guess I just wanted to pro draw and slow him down. Um, because yeah, I was just kind of afraid of a Chalice for 2 here. It also just slows him down so that he can't, automatically cast a Footnote Seer here as well. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that's play with the repeal, but I kind of liked it. It cost me just 1 mana just because of double Electromancer, so yeah. This was Shaper also not doing a whole lot here. Yeah. And yeah, just to remind you, this is after sideboarding, so yeah. Tron has much better chances, but it still needs to draw treat them well. Yeah, because how inefficient Reshaper here is, I could see actually taking out most of those and ballistas in favor of, even the third Wretched Bomb if you play it in your 75 in the sideboard. Yeah, and one other things actually, main deck Wretched Bomb over Mindstones is something that is just really damn good. For this matchup as well, plays against the tokens and also can be sometimes lucky and fast enough to get rid of all the 2-drops from Storm. Yeah, Chalice for 2 on turn 4, nothing that's ridiculous, nothing that amazing. In general, but in this game it's pretty damn busted because I kept a very mediocre hand. Because it had lands, it had those 2-drops, so yeah, kinda looked interesting to me. Here's an end of turn coin truth for something, and I'm kind of thinking of something. Oh yeah, it was in response to Chalice. And I thought that, like, yeah, with him not actually, pressuring me that much, and because I wouldn't be able to cast the echoing anyway because of Chalice, so yeah, bouncing the Shaper makes sense. He's 2 Tron pieces away from actually assembling it, so bouncing the map doesn't really accomplish all that much. Here, if he had like 2 parts of it on the board, then yeah, maybe it was okay. So, casting a ritual just to, oh yeah, it's countered. Oh yeah, but past actually costs 2 now here. Okay. So I'm just like filling up my graveyard, and also because, well, the original one gets countered, but I can still flash it back with past after I flashback repeal, and just, bounce the chalice here. I'd still have 1 mana though, so that's kinda crazy. So I need to rip here a land or a ritual or something like that. So yeah, not sure if that's correct. Just to do it like this, unless I really had something going. Oh yeah, I had a grab shot, but I can't actually, Did I mess it up? I know I still had red mana in there. Despite like the ritual being countered. Yeah, cause pass cost 2. I don't know, why am I doing this all here? Just slow him down and just try to go beat downs with the 2-drops? I don't get what's going through my head here. I just don't get it. I see that I had a grape shot in my hand. Yeah, cool. Might be the game that I had just like double grape shots. Okay. Mindstone into Chalice for 2 once again. After he got bounced. Okay, I can attack for 5 more damage here, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, he was kind of forced to recast the Chalice. So I guess my idea was just to slow him down so he cannot cast any of the big stuff here. Here's the Blood Moon incoming. He does have a waste in the Mind Stone, but he can't go real big with the, um, with a Karn or something like that. Well, he can still do that if he just draws a land, but cutting him off of ridiculous amounts of mana is not a bad thing, considering that I already had 2 islands in play. Yeah, and empty just for 4 more goblins, so there are a lot of things he can do here, one of which is not Ratchet Bomb, for example. He's just casting 2 Reshapers just to try to survive. And yeah, normally they're not supposed to be in his deck. Even though Chalice and Two Witcher want to be in this matchup, and Ratchet Bomb are kind of like conflicting each other, but I think it's fine. Especially for this matchup where just, opponent could also have not just Bounce Butter, Shattering Spree and things like that. Because they have to get rid of Chalice for 2, for example. They just have to. They just can't go off otherwise. Well, I can't go off. But yeah, I could try to just, like in this very weird game, beat down with the 2 drops and some tokens. And then, no matter the original copy, a Grape Shot is just still doing its thing with the copies. Don't remember if I took one of those and only have one in the deck. Might be that I just simply did not take it out and only took out some cantrips. Yeah. It's pretty hard to execute like the actual Blood A combo in this matchup for Storm, so yeah. I think he mis-sideboarded. Okay, Chalice is on 2. I flashed, because of the triple mana dork, let's say, I was able to just flash back the past for 2 and then cast an empty for 1 for 4 more tokens, just to make sure that I can kill next turn unless something ridiculous happens. Hits on Karn, or he can cast next turn, but yeah. Yeah. On the other hand, despite the stock list, something like an Ugin here, even through Blood Moon, because of the Mind Stone, with turn land, would actually be pretty crazy here. And here's a turn land. And in this build, during this playtest session, there were Ugins. But I think he took them out, because he didn't anticipate this kind of game. And then after Ugin, he would get rid of all sorts of things. Shows me his hand, which is actually like pretty decent, but yeah, he's just dead to, a couple tokens or something like that. Yeah, I showed him 2 grape shots in hand, so I guess I kept both, which is a little bit weird. I don't think I'm supposed to do that. Yeah, this is really weird game. Yeah, they can it can happen, and that's why you should, really consider carefully not only what's in your deck, but also how you side. Had Chalison too. That was there for the most of the game. Even though sometimes it got bounced, but still, he drew lands, but yeah. Oh well. Okay, slicing it for another game. Yeah, the game one for this matchup is a bit retarded. Tron, Eldrazi Tron just doesn't have that many great answers. Main deck, because running main deck Ratch Bomb helps. Certainly. But it's not spectacular anyway. It's not really enough. Well, timely. Well, Karn, if like turn 3 Karn could do stuff off of Tron to just get rid of the mana dork or a land. Yeah, and then main the Ola's Dust could sometimes be fast enough, or rather, luckily fast enough. You know what I mean? Because Storm not always hits the nut draw, so not always it can, just randomly kill turn 3 or turn 2 produce a bunch of Goblin 1/1 tokens. So that doesn't happen all that often. It happens way less often than you think it supposed to. Because, well, uh, unlike some combo decks, Storm actually needs somewhat critical mass of spells to kind of go off. Let's just say that it's not enough to just draw past Flame, so draw gifts and given. You have to draw some mana, so you have to draw some rituals to power it out. You have to draw mana dork, and then, well, okay, you have to draw cantrips too, um, in some amounts. So yeah, it's not a 2-card or 3-card combo. Well, yeah, sometimes Absent Company can just keep hands that are all in on combo with some mana dorks. Just the problem with those game plans right now in the format in Modern, because if you're facing the Death Shadow, well, they have removal for your mana dorks, whether you're Company deck or Storm, and then they just disrupt your hand pretty nicely. You might think it's only Thoughtseize and Inquisition from the deck, but it's also Kolaghan's Command. So yeah, Storm, well, let's just say that your hands have to be pretty good. And keeping, by the way, double Baral against Death Shadow is not that unreasonable, because they're probably gonna kill or discard one of them. Okay, turn to Serum Visions is a good start for me, and Urza Tron land, and the map is also a good start for my friend here on the left. Scrying. So I see that I have at least Light Hand in my hand, and I think more lands. So it's 1/1. So top bottom. I hope I have like a turn 2 mana dork here. That would be cool. Yeah, actually, like changed my mind quickly. It's above top. Don't remember what it was exactly, but we'll see. Okay, thanks to the temple, he can go turn 2 Shaper, which I think shouldn't be spotted in this matchup after sideboard. I kind of messed it up here, yeah, because of the fetch and double scry on top. I'm not sure what I was thinking, though. Because I could have just cast the sleight of hand that I had in my hand and get whatever I had on top. But I don't think it really matters a whole lot here. I think those two top decks were just solid cards and nothing extraordinary. But maybe it was bad. Yeah, right. So I was thinking whether I could really spam the board with the tokens now in turn 2, and I think there was just a, a ritual that I just didn't get there, because I fetched, and I could have just gotten it with the slides, or just gotten it next turn. Yeah, don't think I have now any rituals in hand. Now he has a relic. Well, it does something, but not a whole lot here. And yeah, his third land is this Seagate Wreckage. Okay, casting slides. I need some rituals here for sure. Oh yeah, because it's not vision, so I have to take one of those. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, I don't think there were rituals. Otherwise, I would have just gone off, I guess. Um. Okay, I actually had a third land here. Okay, now, that's a serum. I think I have a Manamorphose in hand, I'm not so sure. Well, once I find a bounce spell, then I can power it out to pretty saucy, like Past in Flames. Shadowstorm would be cool too. But then again, this is not just, surgical or what, cage. So he can actually, eat my board here pretty nicely. So yeah, I think I really punted there with the fetch after Vision Scry. I think, yeah, now turn 3 I'm not doing a whole lot. Yeah, because I guess I'm just trying to actually dig into a natural big empty turn. Because I think turn 3 plus with him with Reshaper, I wanted to actually try to go bigger. Okay, I do have a 1 ritual in hand. Okay. Here's a repeal for 1 on the relic, which is kind of a bait. He might just want to, crack it, but okay. He doesn't follow into the trap, just bounces it. I suppose because I cannot really make that much mana to go with the past here. Okay, so this is just turn 4, make a bunch of tokens. 7 spells, I believe, this turn. Yeah, so that's gonna be 16 tokens, yeah, which is probably gonna be enough unless he draws into Ugin or Ratchet Bomb. I don't think he even cited them in. I'm not sure if all his dice is even there. So yeah, a player who tested out this matchup probably gonna see how much the deck after sideboard in this matchup actually relies on big empty turn, because there's so much graveyard hate and chalice. But if you have enough like lands and mana in the mana dork already in play, it doesn't matter if your 2-mana rituals gets countered, as long as you just um, still can cast stuff. Yeah, he scoops it up. Yeah, the matchup is kind of weird. It can go either way. Um, I think he sideboarded pretty clearly. I messed up a little, but didn't really get punished for it all that much. My sideboard is not really that ideal. Should have a Shattering Spree in somewhere, but some builds actually just play a bunch of like bounce spells in the sideboard and no artifact hate. So the jury is still out there, I guess. I suppose the point is that you want to be flexible. Yeah, contortion is still like probably good if you run those in any numbers, because killing them that's Baral or Electromancer is actually like still pretty important. But yeah, it really depends on drawing the hate cards. But yeah, okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe or check the links in the description. Leave any feedback in the comment section below. There's gonna be a whole lot of modern coming to you in the next few days, because in addition to matches from this playtest session, currently I've had a few more, like 5 more, including Dev Shadow Aggro against a bunch of different decks and one more without, so stay tuned until the next sale. Goodbye folks.